You're listening to the Business Wealth Impact Podcast, your source for empowering information and cutting-edge ideas from the world's top minds. I'm your host, Jeanne Omlor, founder of seven-figure coaching company, Jeanne Omlor International. Join me on a journey to unleash your potential and create your highest success. Welcome to Business Wealth Impact. Hello and welcome to another episode of Business Wealth Impact. We have an amazing guest, Lucy Parker, who is a real estate guru and aficionado, and I'm just going to let her introduce herself. Welcome, Lucy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Jeanne. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me on. So as you can tell from the accent, I'm from England and I am selling residential real estate here in Dubai. So in the Gulf, been here 13 years. In fact, been in the region 19 years, Jeanne, because before I was in Oman, which is the country next door. I have traveled all my life. So I was brought up in the South Pacific until I was 8. So Fiji, Vanuatu. So for me, it's very normal to live overseas as an expatriate. That's in my blood. Was schooled in the UK from 8 to 18. So had the education there. Was at boarding school for some of that. So we used to fly home to Denmark where my parents also lived. And then when you leave school, I wanted to go to university, but I wasn't quite ready and I wanted an adventure. So I went to live in Central America, in Honduras, Roatan, Caribbean. And I was a voluntary school teacher. Really just introducing myself to say that I've traveled extensively. I've been to 76 countries, 77 tomorrow. My goal is to see every country on the planet, but I'm absolutely a people person and I love connecting with different nationalities, different cultures from all over the globe. And, real estate is just a perfect match for that because that's what I do every day. I get to meet people from all over the world. I get to match them with dream properties and everybody's happy.
That's amazing. Now we have something in common because my parents moved 10 children to Australia from America in 1971. I think it was.
Okay.
72.
Yeah.
No, it must have been 71. I can't remember anymore. It's so long ago. But so I get what you're saying, that you were used to not being in the country of origin.
Yeah.
Okay. Very important question. What is the country you're visiting tomorrow? 2077.
Right. It's a bit different. Are you ready? You might have to get your atlas out, some people. So it's Kyrgyzstan.
Oh, Kyrgyzstan. Okay. Now I begs the question, what are you going to be doing in Kyrgyzstan?
Yeah. So I'm going snowboarding for the weekend because it's only a 4-hour flight from Dubai and the snow's exceptional. And 2 weekends ago, I was in Kazakhstan. So, I wanted to see all these new countries and what better way to do it than do something you love at the same time. So that's what I'm up to.
I have to admit, I will admit, I'm pretty good at geography because I also traveled a lot when I was younger, a lot.
Okay.
I have not heard of Kyrgyzstan. I've only heard of Kurdistan. Okay. So how big is Kyrgyzstan? How big is it and how many people live there?
I don't know that. I can Google it as we're as we're talking.
It's okay.
But I do know that we are flying to the capital, which I believe is Bishkek. So Kyrgyzstan, here we are. Let's see. It's only a 3.5-hour flight and there's 6.6 million people and it used to be part of Russia. So they speak Kyrgyz and also Russian.
That is why I have not heard of it because this is fairly new. Okay. So, but the region is not new, obviously. All right. So that's amazing. And you're going to keep finding these countries. You've already been through 77. Absolutely. That's awesome. So you had a life. Now this is interesting where you weren't living with your parents a lot of the time because you were in boarding school for how many years?
Oh, no, that was only 3.5 years. So when I was 10 until 13, me and my sister were at boarding school in England and we'd fly home every holidays and every half term to Denmark.
Right.
So,
okay.
So
your parents moved a bit as well, it sounds like.
Exactly.
And I'm curious, what did your parents do that had them moving around so much?
Sure. So my father was basically heading up Barclays Bank in the South Pacific, and then obviously came back to the corporate life in London. So he was based out of London. Then he was taken to Denmark. So yeah, that's it was Barclays his whole life.
Wow.
And this is something about part of my story is that I've come from a really nice background where my father was in one job, one salaried his entire life, 40 years. Okay. And, we had a house and, they paid the mortgage off and we had a lovely family home and that was it. But there was no one that was entrepreneurial in my
Mm.
family. Okay. Nobody that was looking at owning businesses, growing businesses, creating businesses. No one that was looking at buying real estate or using it as investment or being creative. So I had no mentors. I had no one around me to really show me the other way that you can live a life, which quite frankly is exactly what I want. I'm very much about financial freedom in
Mhm.
every sense of the matter. So that's where I decided to go the other route to everyone else in my family.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. One of my brothers had a business, but apart from that, we directly also didn't have that. But my mother's side of her family, they were really into business, owning businesses,
Okay.
all sorts of stuff. And in fact, most people don't know this because I haven't told many people, but my grandfather was Lebanese, actually. And he
Wow.
was
Okay.
very entrepreneurial because Lebanese are, and they came to America and started businesses. He was the one that made a place called Pecos in New Mexico the tourist trap that it was. Okay, and the
Oh,
Adello
wow. That's
family
amazing.
is very well known, and actually, he was in the state senate at one point. So
Okay.
um, we
Okay.
had that, and I guess that came through to me. But directly, my dad, well, he did, move jobs, but he used to work for Standard. He was actually a very good mathematician. He used to work for Stanford Research Institute in the early days.
Yeah.
But he did move because we moved. But the same thing, we were not taught about investing, buying stuff. That was not what we
Yeah.
were taught. So you and I have that in common as well. So tell me
Absolutely.
about what you're doing now. It sounds fascinating. And the reason why I was, connected with you is I was fascinated that you are selling real estate in Dubai through your
Yeah.
YouTube channel to people that have never been to Dubai, have never met you, never seen the property, and you do very well. How did this happen?
Yeah, sure. No. So basically, my YouTube channel I started in 2019. And quite frankly, I should have started it way before because so I've always loved presenting. And I always wanted to be a TV presenter, by the way. So if anyone's watching and they want that, I could be a TV presenter. I wanted to be a holiday travel presenter on TV. That's what I wanted to do. So I've always loved being in front of the camera and talking. And what happened was the real estate market here in 2014 was really, really tough. It was so tough that I was financially in a mess. Like I was broke. And
Mm,
in Dubai, because you're not in your home country, you don't have social security or, grandma or mum that you can run home to. If you're broke here, you're going to get kicked out. You
mm,
have to leave. Or worse still, all sorts of consequences. So in my mind, I knew I could not get to that level. There was no safety plan. It was me in or out of the country. So I was like, okay, the market's gone really, really stale here. I'm making no money because we're not salaried in real
mhm,
estate here. So if you don't sell a house, you literally don't eat that night. And it got to that part.
mm.
I had to move out of my property that I was renting on the Palm Jumeirah into a really small studio with all my bags and stuff around me. It was pretty dire for 2 years. And
Wait,
in
you
those
went
two,
through that for 2 years. Folks, listen to that. This was not a little like
yeah.
blip. 2 years. So in 2 years, what happened? How did you dig yourself out of that?
Well, I kept going. I mean, I'm a very positive person. Okay. So I can always look positive and confident with in front of any client with any budget. Okay. So I carried on doing what I always do best. I was taking people property viewings. They had no idea that I probably wasn't going to eat that night, but I'm taking them around and, they're driving around their Porsches, etc. So that was how it was for a while. And then it got really, really bad. And I literally remember sitting down and saying to myself, Lucy, you've got to do something different. You cannot do the same because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Mm,
So I said to myself, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And remember, this is 2014. I'm going to get on Facebook and start doing these lives because that was a new
mhm,
tool that you could do on Facebook. And by the way, nobody was doing this
mm,
in 2014. There was no Instagram was out, but no one was using it. TikTok wasn't
mm.
around. WhatsApp, we were just about on, but not really.
Mm.
So we're really early. This is 10 years ago.
Mm.
So I started doing lives about the Palm Jumeirah, about the areas you can visit, the restaurants, the hotels. And I started getting quite a following, and people like, this is really helpful. It gives me an idea of the area where I want to buy. And then I got a message. Someone reached out on Facebook, and it was an owner of an apartment. And they said, we really liked your videos and stuff. Could you come and meet with us? We want to sell our house. So I was like, okay, this is changing the game.
Mm.
So I went and I got their property, and I just went crazy for a week with an open house, and I got it sold. Then, and this is where things changed for me, Keller Williams found me. That's obviously an American brand,
Mm-hmm.
the largest real estate agency in the world. And they actually brought me in and said, right, we'd like you to run Keller Williams Dubai, recruit and train agents.
Wow.
So suddenly I went from selling property and being in a quite dire situation and just starting to get myself back to suddenly in a salaried role running Keller Williams. So my whole life changed. I was around amazing mentors, complete leaders, coming to the US on training sessions. And that just opened up my mind to another life that I'd never even seen. And, very in awe, Keller Williams is a training company ultimately. So, the training is second to none.
Mm-hmm.
So learned a lot, trained. And as I was training, which was all the Keller Williams, documentation, I was teaching myself. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wait a minute, for 11 years in real estate, there's so much I should have been doing, which is what I'm now training others to do. And I'm training them by using my stories
Mm-hmm.
of, I'd knock on doors. So I have a lot of examples to be able to inspire and help agents to success. And I was like, Lucy, I know that if I now went back out as an agent and did this, I would so do it better than I've ever done it before. So I stayed in that role for 2.5 years. And then I made a decision. The market started to change. It was getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a decision that I was going to step away from that leadership role. I loved it. And I loved the privilege of helping others to succeed and grow. But I decided to take on the biggest challenge of my life, which was to go back into production in the same office with the same people that I'd been training and had interviewed. And so you can imagine that's massive for me, because I said to myself, Lucy, if you're going to do this, you've got to come back in and be the best as
Mm.
quick as you can.
Mm.
Because you were the one training them.
Right.
So you can't come in and not be good.
Well, that was an amazing test of quality control.
Yeah, so I just put myself under pressure,
Yes.
which it is how I work best. So sure enough, it took me a year, but I was, the top performing real estate agent in Keller Williams Dubai. And then I was still doing videos. And what happened was I came on a trip to New York, and I went to see an apartment in 157 Avenue in Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
which is right on Central Park, one of the tallest towers at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an Emirati owner who had like this mega full floor penthouse at the 85th floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I already knew as I was going up there, oh my gosh, the views are going to be amazing. So what I did was, as I opened the door, I decided I was going to video it and discover it live on video.
Got it.
Okay. Now, what I didn't realize was what happened next. So basically, I put this video. So I'm running around this like penthouse, which is enormous, and it was what was it, $57 million? Okay. I put the video on LinkedIn. Within 7 days on LinkedIn in 2018, I think I got 200,000 views.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. Now I should really get going on something a bit more organized than just a random video
Mm-hmm.
on LinkedIn. Obviously, my content's working.
Mm.
So my best friend helped me set up a YouTube channel, because I'm really not technical, Jeanne, at all.
Oh, you like
And for
me.
anyone,
I'm not techie at all.
for anyone watching thinking, yeah, but she probably is really technical, and I do no editing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not technical. All I know is on a telephone, I get it and I press start.
And it
Put
works.
the camera at my face and I talk, and then I press stop.
Right.
I'm not joking. That's what I do even till today.
Mm.
Okay. And so basically, my best friend helped me set up a YouTube channel, which is free of charge. And I started doing videos, but I didn't do them very frequently. If I look back, that was perhaps something I should have done better.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing them like once every 10 days or whatever, of different communities in Dubai. And for nearly 2 years, I only had 100 subscribers,
Mm-hmm.
because we're now talking 2018, 2019, 2020.
Mm.
However, you know what I'm going to say next. What happened in 2020? So
Yes. People were
We
on
had
YouTube watching stuff, looking for investments, and also stuff like TubeBuddy came out. I think that was started, the apps where you can put the hashtags that people will see it more. Are you using that now?
actually, I don't know that
Oh, well, you should.
tool. You'll have to
There's,
share that
there's.
with
I know
me.
you're not techie like me, but I've learned stuff. Look up TubeBuddy because that
Okay.
helps you put hashtags where people will see it more. So
Oh,
I could help you.
I know why.
Yeah,
Because my VA is probably doing that because she
probably
does all
doing
that
that
kind
if
of.
she does it. But just make
Yeah,
sure
she
she's
will
using
do that.
something like that. Okay, so
I
then
will.
COVID happened, right? And then you
So
got
then
a bunch more
COVID happened.
subscribers. Am I right?
So then basically what happened, we were all stuck at home. And by the way, I also train real estate agents on how to stand out on social media. And I use this exact example that I'm now sharing with you here. So COVID happened. We're suddenly all at home. We're stuck and everybody is forced, whether they like it or not, whether they're tech or not, to get online, right?
Hmm.
All of us.
Hmm.
So suddenly people that never knew about YouTube were on YouTube
Hmm.
because if they want to Google, I want to buy a house in Dubai, they're not just going to look at a listing. They couldn't get on a plane to
Hmm.
view it. They had to go onto videos.
Hmm.
And who, as agents in Dubai, had videos? Well, I was very lucky, not very many
Hmm.
in 2020. I was probably one of, I don't know, maybe 40
Hmm.
agents, right? Okay. So yeah, and most of them are men and none of them are British. So I already had a really good opportunity there. Just it just so happened I'd put my YouTube out there earlier than a lot of my competition.
Hmm.
It's changed now, obviously. So then people got to know me. I did 2 deals through YouTube, and by the way, in COVID, I got stuck in England. So I'm in England. There's people from the UK or Europe finding my properties that I've got on YouTube that I've done videos for because I was in Dubai a couple of months before,
Hmm.
and they're purchasing property,
Hmm.
and they haven't met me, and they didn't get on a plane to Dubai, and they've all made money. Like all of those people have doubled their money since.
Hmm.
And then eventually I get back to Dubai, and then I can do more content,
Hmm.
and then I recognize there is a serious opportunity in my YouTube channel. And in 2022, I literally, and by the way, up until today, I have never paid for an advert anywhere. I've never done SEO,
Hmm.
which maybe isn't a good thing to share, but I haven't done SEO.
Yes.
I've never paid for any subscribers or followers anywhere.
Oh, yes.
Everything I do is
It's totally
authentic.
organic. Now, the thing is,
Yeah.
it's working. So it's good that you are admitting
Yeah.
all this because it's good for people to hear how simply you did this, that there's no editors, there's no fancy stuff. You have
Nothing.
somebody putting them on there for you now, your VA, and maybe she knows about TubeBuddy, maybe not as working. But I love it
Yeah.
that you didn't do SEO and that people can hear how simple this was. Now, of course,
Yeah.
COVID did
Yeah.
help, but I think it's really interesting that you were in England selling stuff to English people sometimes to
Yep.
buy, and they didn't. You could have
Yeah.
met them actually. So that's awesome. So now what's going on
Yeah.
with you? How many subscribers do you have now?
So as of, guess what, yesterday, so it's quite a pivotal moment, I have 4,000 subscribers. Okay. Now, many people will think, well, she hasn't got 100,000 subscribers. So who is she to tell us about YouTube? But the difference is the return,
Yes.
right? The return on investment. If you think about it, I'm paying no money for YouTube. Okay. I don't pay any money to make the video. I have no video editor.
Hmm.
So I literally, from the video, I press upload and then my VA creates the nice, pretty flyer.
Hmm.
So that's her job. She does the flyer. She puts the hashtags in. I always write the description. Always it's written by me because she doesn't know Dubai. She
Right.
lives in the Philippines,
Exactly.
right? And that's how it works. And
Right.
we can have the video up within under 30 minutes if it's urgent. Like I can literally say, right, I need a flyer done. I will always give her the front photo for the flyer. And I love photography. I'll always take
Right.
photos anyway.
Right.
So I know when I'm taking a photo, that's
Right. So
the flyer. Yeah.
Lucy means the
Yeah.
thumbnail, I believe. The thumbnail of the video, right?
The thumbnail.
Okay.
Yeah. Thumbnail.
See,
Exactly.
she doesn't
Yeah.
even know the terms, folks. Like, come on. Like, everybody's so caught up. I'm about massive messy action, and we have that in common as well.
Yeah, no,
And,
I do not have paralysis
no,
analysis. And that's where I think people are really, stumped in their business because so many people, probably those listening today to this, are busy going, right, I need to get it perfect. I need to have that. And I need to do this. And I need to decide on a script. What am I going to say on the video? Do you know what? I have no script. I literally press record and go.
Right.
And then if I'm not, I don't need the detail on the video when I'm talking, because what I do, which is the way that it's my hack for me, because I know I'm not great at detail. Okay.
Mhm.
So what I do is I'll have all the detail that I put on the description
Yes,
under the video.
of course.
And that's correct.
Yes.
And I'll just say, for the built up areas, the current prices, look at the
Yes.
description below the video. And my phone number is on
If
the
you want
description.
any
So by
more,
the way,
yeah, any more information. Now, this is interesting because you and I
yeah,
have that in common. I've always said, now this is the deal. You got 4,000 subscribers who are actively looking for real estate in
yes,
Dubai. So if you
yes,
get random people on there that are never going to buy, that's a very specific market. So that is a lot of people who are looking for real estate in Dubai. So for you to have hundreds of thousands of viewers is to no avail because they will not buy
yeah,
stuff. So that's a very specific thing. And I
it's
talk
niche, it's very
right.
niche.
And I talk a lot about this because a lot of people are like, well, I don't have, hundreds of thousands of people on Instagram or whatever. And I'm like, that's not what's important. What's important
No,
is engaged viewers, engaged followers who are interested in buying your stuff. Now, I know people who have only 10K followers on their Instagram channel, and they're making about $300,000 a month because they're good at activating those
amazing.
audience members, right? Our
But
goal
also,
is
can
not
I?
to get followers and likes, is to get engaged viewers and followers who might actually use your service. So you're proving this to me, and I love that. So now
Yeah.
we were chatting
Oh,
earlier. Some of your deals, you're making about what you said, $280,000 on them. These are big properties you're selling.
yeah, well, I mean, that was the largest property sale of 2022. So, yeah, basically, a client wanted to buy a property, which I think in US dollars is about $5.9 million. And they heard me on YouTube. So what I wanted to say is clients do a search. That's why it's so niche, right? So they'll do a search for a particular community or off-plan Dubai or Dubai villas,
Mhm.
and they'll know the community name.
Mhm.
So when they put in Google the community name, my videos will always come up quite near the top
Mhm.
because they're videos as
Mhm.
opposed to just a text, right? So video is always higher on the SEO.
Mhm.
So then they went through probably about 10, 20 videos, and you'll get the developers doing their bog standard video, which is all like renderings and it's artificial photos. And then what happens is on my videos, you get me driving around the project, even if it's a construction site, so you know it's real.
Mm.
And because I'm there with my face going, so this is the project, look behind me, that's where it's going to be when it's finished. People know I'm legit. I'm doing it really then. I'm not a robot. I'm
Mhm.
not a rendering.
Mhm.
And so it's real. And then people start to trust you. So, social media is, you've got to be authentic. You've got to be yourself. And also when I'm talking away on my videos, people are getting to know you in a person as
Mhm.
a personality, right? And they're thinking, would I choose to work with that person? Is she going to be honest? Is she going to be transparent? Is she going to be fun to work with? Is she boring?
Mhm.
Is she going to help me, or is she going to be really negative?
Mhm.
And so they're kind of interviewing you by listening to your content on video,
Right,
right?
right. And people
Um,
people are looking to deal with people that they like. And it's so interesting because
yes.
yesterday I made a video and I put it all over social media about being authentic. So
Oh,
what
there you go.
exactly what
And
you're
so,
saying. People want to see
yeah,
who you're dealing with, whether you're real, whether you care, and you are very bubbly and pleasant. I'd want to deal with you. Who wouldn't want to deal with you instead of somebody boring? And so you're also showing your personality and that you care. You're professional. You're easygoing. You're going to answer questions. And by the way, here's the property. How about it?
yeah,
So you got
yeah.
a winning, combination.
Formula.
Now I had a
Yeah.
question. You were mentioning about using AI to do this. How are you going to apply AI to what you're doing or integrate that?
Well, we're at the very, very early steps of this. I always like to be ahead of the game. I'm a visionary, so I'm like big picture, big thinker person, and then someone else can do all the detail. So obviously AI is coming, and I don't want to be a robot. I want to be me doing videos.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess what I'm looking at is how AI can help to get us to bring us better content for what you, the audience, are searching for, so that we get in front of you with the right content that is valuable. And so it's very early days. I'm also going to be using AI to be able to answer my clients' questions, because when clients look at my video and then they need to contact me, I only ever share my WhatsApp number, my telephone. I don't do anything on email, because nobody's going to buy a property through email. It's too slow,
Right.
right?
It
We
is.
need to talk,
Mhm.
do buy market moves in literally days. So if you're on an email and then we get back to each other 2 days later, the property's sold. So if people don't want to share their number, I don't deal with them. It's very simple. Okay. And that's quite rare that people say, I only want to deal by email.
Yes.
So what happens is I get a WhatsApp, because outside of North America, we all use WhatsApp.
Mhm.
Okay. Because everybody's global. It's a
Mhm.
text message service for free in any country.
Mhm.
So the difference is that I don't want to have to answer every WhatsApp myself, because I'm getting busier and
Mhm.
busier, right? But I want to deal with every client and give them all the advice and help and value I can. So we're looking at how we can make this more digitalized
Mhm.
with something that will answer on my behalf, that is as good as,
Mhm.
hopefully much, much better than me. And then when it actually comes down to, when we get ready and get close to what are we looking at, then I actually get on the
Sure.
Zoom or phone myself.
Right.
So that's what we're looking at: how to digitalize it, how to make the business more efficient, and really how to make the videos even better than they are, so that, you, the viewers, get value and everything's answered very quickly.
Okay, so there's two applications there. The first one is you want a Lucy bot. Okay, we want a Lucy bot that can be used through WhatsApp. That's the first thing, answering
Yeah.
questions as Lucy. But we don't want to, I thought we don't want to have you have a rendition on your videos, because we always want that to be you. And that's
Exactly.
the
Yes.
opportunity with
Yes.
AI, I was thinking, is to not do that, because that will be at a premium when everybody is
Yeah.
doing the deep fakes. The people that
Yeah.
aren't
No, I
doing
don't.
the deep fakes and are like, but then it's going to be so good, the deep fakes, that if you say this is not a deep fake, it could be, right? So,
Yeah.
there's a point where we're going to have to be able to prove it's not a deep fake. And there's going to be ways of doing that people are going to develop, I've realized, of, excuse me, how to prove
Yeah,
it's
it's
not a
true.
deep fake, right? That's going to be a big thing in the future. I'm sure of it, because I've been thinking a lot about this. Okay, so we have two applications. One through WhatsApp, that those are being answered, the same questions over and over and over again. And then of course you will do the deal. Now, how are you going to make your videos better? What's the AI that's going to make those better? Do more 3D stuff, or what's your application for the actual video?
Um, no, I don't. I'm not at that point yet
Okay.
as to how to make the videos better. I mean, look, do you know, it's really funny. By the other thing about your YouTube channel is you should always answer everyone's comments. So I
Mm-hmm.
make sure I answer those every day, and they're answered by myself. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, I get a lot of comments from my lovely viewers and subscribers saying, Lucy, you should really get a better camera. You should be more in focus on this, or can you slow down when you're running around the house? Or, like, it's quite funny. Like, people really want to help me improve, which I respect. But the fact is, as it is, it works because
Mm-hmm.
it is real. It's not. And the other thing is, I did try a video editor, but it was too slow. Like,
Mm-hmm.
by the time he's taken the videos and edited and got back to me, it's 2 days.
Right.
The property's sold.
Right.
Okay. So it doesn't work for this type of business and for what I'm doing, for to get it edited and put in, swanky music.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see, if you go through my videos, you'll see about two or three that are really professionally done.
Mm-hmm.
But then I stopped, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing I will say about YouTube, which is important, is, when that client bought that property for nearly $6 million, they looked back to see how many videos I'd done, because I kept going. You've got to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And because I've got so many different videos, they know I actually am in real estate, and I've kept going, and it's not like a one hit wonder video to sell them a house, make some money and run away, right? Like, they know I'm in the industry and I'm committed to this.
Right.
And, that's why social media helps. So, for example, my LinkedIn is very important because I have all my testimonials there,
Right.
because people check you out. Of course they do. They
Right.
see you on YouTube,
Right.
but they'll go to
Okay.
LinkedIn.
So I have a suggestion for you. I don't usually do
Yeah.
this, but here's a little coaching suggestion. I would suggest you make a sizzler video of all your testimonials and also put that on YouTube. So
Okay.
you have two places.
Interesting.
Then they don't have to go stalk you. You have it right there, a sizzler video. And you also get people to go on video and say how amazing it was on video to work with Lucy. If you make it's called a
Okay.
sizzler video, and then you say, here's a bunch of and it's one video with a bunch, and you could do screenshots, video the screenshots and then interchange it with the videos. That would be amazing, because then it would be right on your channel. It could be the first video that you pin. I think you can pin a video. I'm not sure anymore. but that
Yeah.
should be on YouTube. I just can't.
It might be quite, yeah, no, it's a good idea. Really appreciate that.
Mm,
It's very tricky because I've tried this by getting voice and videos
mhm.
before. My clientele generally don't like to appear on
Right.
videos.
That's okay because,
So
but then you
yeah.
can then you can film that whatever you have on LinkedIn can be digitalized and
Ah,
you
okay.
understand that
I see.
if you have it
Yeah.
there, it's there. So I already know that. So
Yes. Okay.
sure, then
Yeah.
you are making a video with all the screenshots of it with music behind it.
Ah,
You're making
oh, I
get it
see.
a
Okay. I
sizzler
get
video. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to have people. Maybe one person will go on video. If not,
Yeah.
that's okay. It can
Yeah.
just be a bunch of the screenshots made into a video. So it's still video and it's the same format because then you are marrying your medium to the same medium instead of making
Yeah.
them go. Of course, have it there. Then you could put that video also on LinkedIn. So, or
Yeah.
you could link put it on there natively and then also link it back to your YouTube channel so you get
Yeah.
them going from LinkedIn to the
I
YouTube
go,
channel to see
yeah.
them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. I've got my YouTube videos already
Right.
because you can put it in your bio, can't
Yes.
you? So in LinkedIn on my bio, it does direct people to my YouTube
Sure,
channel.
but
So I
also,
make sure everything's directed.
exactly, but
Yeah.
also get that video of that's what some people don't want to go through and they just want to watch the video and just see a little video of all of them all at once, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the
Yeah.
same
That's
medium.
great. That's
Yeah,
good.
there you go. A little bit of coaching for you, unsolicited at that. Okay, well, this is exciting. So I have a question. The person that bought
Yeah.
the almost $6 million property, did
Yes.
they ever go see that property or they bought it without seeing it?
So yeah, so they live in Europe, in
Mhm.
France, and when they bought it, they had never been to Dubai in their life.
Mhm.
They cannot see the property even today because it's still not built. It's under
Oh,
construction. It's a 3-year project,
oh,
um, and I will tell you, since they have been to Dubai not once but twice, completely fallen in love Dubai, doubled their hotel stay when they got here because they didn't want to leave. And they also bought. I mean, here's the thing: they bought in the community where I also bought a house.
mm.
So, and they've already done well on their investment. They've already made money, and I have as well. So, they know, and they could have seen all my videos as to what's selling and what's doing well. So they're very, very happy, and they're even looking for a second property in the same project. So there you
How
go.
could
So they're very happy.
how could they have made money already because it's already appreciated? They know it's
Yes,
oh
mine's gone up 50%
wow,
in 1 year
amazing,
on value, and on my equity, that's 100%.
amazing.
And theirs, they bought it for 24 million. Now today, they're wanting to sell it around 30 million.
Oh, so it wasn't a 6 million; it was a $24 million place.
No, 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 that's dirham. That's dirham.
Oh,
So 24 million is about
oh,
$6
oh,
million
got it. Okay,
dollars.
you're talking in
Sorry, I've got to think in dirhams because I can't
exactly.
think in
Okay,
dollars.
this is fascinating. And then this is amazing. So and at some point, Lucy might develop. She has trained other real estate agents on this, and she might develop some sort of program for this. We were talking about that. You never know. Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be great because it'd be great if you could help people with all this because not just for people in Dubai, but real estate agents can do better. A lot of them do well with their social media, but a lot of them really don't know how to do that. And they think it's
Yeah,
complicated
true.
and it's not. You just
It's not.
pointed out how uncomplicated you are. And you're kind of
Yeah.
like me. You're just like me. I just did stuff. And I'm like, and they're like, what? You're in your car and that's your branding. I'm like, well, it's my car. It's where I drive. Okay. So
Yeah.
about the traveling, what made you want to visit every single country in the world?
Because I like giving myself hard goals. I truly believe that we are very, very lucky to even be here in the first place. And I've lost. We've all, like all of us, we've all lost someone or people that we care and love, and way too young. And there's someone in particular that I always think he was such an adventurer and such a geographer, and he was literally destined to have done so many great things, and he died way too early. And I remember promising him on his deathbed, almost, not quite, and to myself, that I will make sure he didn't die in vain.
Mm,
And so, I am alive, and I get the chance, I get the opportunity to be here, and I don't want to waste it. What's the point of lying in bed all day drinking alcohol and moaning and being down and out and being obese and fat?
mhm,
You only live once.
mm.
What I don't get why people don't see the opportunities we've got. This world is full of beautiful people, beautiful places, incredible opportunities. I've been lucky to see a lot of those, and I know some people haven't, but it really is a world where we should go discover.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you discover, the more you want to go,
Mm-hmm.
the more I want to meet different people from different countries. And, I'm really curious. I'm a very curious person, Jeanne. So I'm like, what are people from Kyrgyzstan going to be like? I
Mm-hmm.
can't wait to meet them. And then some of them come to Dubai and buy property with me. And, the fact I can then say, where are you from? Oh my goodness, I was just in your country.
Mm.
I mean, they just love that. I
Right.
mean, how many people do they ever meet that have been to their country?
Not that
So I
many.
just think it's a really nice way to connect with
Do you
people.
know, you
Yeah.
just expressed exactly how I felt when I started going traveling when I was 25. I
Yeah.
basically sold everything. I gave all my designer clothes to my sisters because I was a fashion designer at that point. And I was traveling around
Wow.
in torn jeans. And my whole thing was what you just said. What are these
Yeah.
people? I remember thinking to myself, what are these people like in that country? I want to get to know some of them. And I call it
Yeah.
cultural trespassing, where you're kind of in there and you're not really like a tourist. You're a traveler. It's different.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
must have had a lot of very interesting stories of meeting people and being invited places because I just know it. Okay, well, this has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Please tell
That's
us
lovely. Yeah.
something that you want to leave people with, some philosophy. Well, you just fed us something right there. I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful world out there. Why would we sit around wasting moments of our life, right? So what's something that is some mindset or business strategy that's really gotten you from where you were, which was good then bad then good, to where you are now?
Um, it's actually something you'll either have heard of a lot or you'll have never heard of. And I learned it through Keller Williams, and then I used to train others. And it's this very simple question: how do you eat an elephant? Okay. And for those of you that don't know the answer, it is one mouthful at a time. Okay. So most people in life look at an elephant and go, oh my goodness, I could never eat that. By the way, I'm a vegan, so I don't eat meat at all, but I'm just using this as an example. So most people will say, I cannot possibly eat an elephant, so I'm just not even going to start,
Mm-hmm.
which is our big goals or anything that's too big and daunting and scary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I look at big projects that, and don't get me wrong, I also get scared and think that's scary. But you know what? I can do it if I take it one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've done. I never set out to, be the biggest YouTuber in Dubai real estate. I'm not the biggest, but I would say most people now know me
Mm-hmm.
just because I keep going and I'm just doing one step at a time. It's not perfect. I'm not a professional and it's not edited, but it works
Mm-hmm.
because I'm on that one step at a time. So hopefully that can inspire people that are listening today, just to go out and start and get going
Right.
one step at a time.
We are so aligned there because one of my mottos is the remedy for everything is taking one step,
Yeah,
which is kind of the
absolutely.
same thing. Well, thank you so much for that inspiring idea. And
You're welcome,
yes,
John. So nice with you.
yes, it was
So
great to
nice.
have you. And we
Yeah.
will have all of, we'll have Lucy's YouTube link in the show notes, and anything else that
Okay.
any way of, reaching out to her will
Sure.
be there.
I'll put everything there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening, everybody. And we will see you on the next wonderful episode. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Business Wealth Impact. I hope you found today's conversation insightful and life-changing. If you want to support the show and stay up to date with all of our latest episodes, the easiest way to do that is by following us on your favorite podcast platform. Just hit that follow button to never miss an episode. And if you really love the show and want to help us spread the word, leave us a review and share the podcast with your friends. Again, be sure to subscribe, and until next time, be impactful.